Welcome, welcome. And I have this feeling in my belly. I'm just going to close my eyes for it for a minute. I am excited in a very relaxed way. And I feel honored and I feel so grateful. And I'm going to share with you why. I have a very special guest today. And in this reality, we don't know each other for so long. I actually jumped into one of her programs. I think it's only a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, what is time? It feels like I have a connection with her over lifetimes. And as you know, I only bring guests to this platform who really blow me away, because I love to work with women who feel to me that I have something big to bring to the world. And this special being, her name is Andrea. I love your name. It's like, I'm going to ask you if you were born with this name, Andrea Morningstar. And to share a little about her, besides that she blows me away with her presence, her energy, her frequency, and her words, she's special. I've never met anyone in my life who's like her. And at the same time, I feel that she can change the world with what she brings. Because as you know me a little bit longer, I'm not quickly moved by something, but this just knocked me out every single time. Her last program, Wealth Embodiment, I just came by bus from Valladolid to Tulum here in Mexico, and I traveled. I listened to this course for the third time, and I hear something different, and I feel something different all the times. It's so mind-blowing, and I just want the world to hear this. And I'm going to warn you, there's a little warning before we start. For some of you, it can be completely like, oh, what are you talking about? And for some of you, you feel something and still it's a bit unknown. And some of you will get it from the right moment, from the start. And it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're here. And this is already perfect, because we don't have to understand things. We think, but that's so old. So welcome, 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 beauty. I feel so honored.
Thank you. I am so honored and so happy to be here with you today. This feels divine and delightful already.
Yeah, it does. It does. It feels so relaxed that I even have the urge to just sit and close my eyes and just enjoy the moment. It's very interesting. Already this is so special, because normally we rush into the questions, like I have prepared, of course, for moments that I don't know, which never happens, but I do. You feel away. You ask questions, you're prepared, and you're going for it. And in this field right now, it feels like, see what comes up.
Yes.
So I was in your last two programs, and something I picked up, and that was the first feeling around, like, I want to know more, is when you say, I go full alien. It's time to go full alien. I'm so ready to go full alien. And it really resonates, because I always felt like an alien. And then I adjusted and tried to become human, whatever that may be. So I want to start with my most big question, if I have any, is what do you mean exactly by going full alien? What goes through you when you say that and when you express that?
I love that question. Thank you for starting here. For me, going full alien is being fully myself. We get to be the highest expressions of who we really are in every now, no exception. And I have found that in this work that I do, it's quite unconventional, it's quite unique. For those who may not know, I had a private practice in regenerative medicine and I closed it down. It was successful. I loved it. I loved my patients. I loved the results. But my soul called me forward to really bring this work to a bigger platform, to the world. And so I did. And I went from being unknown online and having no social media or no social media presence to having a multi-million-dollar business in 9 months. And I did that through the highest expression of who I am, my soul, being full alien.
Wow. And actually, you answered it for me in the first 10 seconds when you said being fully myself.
Yes. Yes.
And this is already, I mean, a lot of us who is watching or listening, being fully yourself and claiming that and really daring to speak up like that, that's already something. I mean, not everyone is reaching that in this lifetime.
It takes courage to be.
It takes courage.
Yes.
Can you share for me what you mean when you say it takes courage? How does that look in your life? And do you need to do things for that, or do you the opposite? Just surrender, lay back and do it.
I love that. For me, it has been a process of an active surrender. And so I do take action. I do things, I work, yes. And I do it from a place of frequency first and being first. And so I always follow for myself a golden thread of what is the highest truth, what is the highest love that I am, what is the highest power that comes through my highest creations, my highest self-expression. And from there, I act. From there, I do.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
And the process of surrender has been a really big one. And one that sometimes the mind can't quite comprehend because it's very nonlinear. The mind does catch up in hindsight. The mind is playing with all the aspects of who we are, but it typically will catch on later. And there is a process of trusting the leap that is beyond linear logic. We can follow logic, but we can also accelerate the process of creation through becoming all that we are beyond logic.
Yeah, and that's it. Becoming all that we are beyond logic. Yeah. And you say you've been doing this only for actually a pretty short time, with so much impact already. What can you share or as an advice? Because we always want to learn and we would love to have that courage, and it's not so easy for everyone to find. What is an advice or a feeling or something you can give to the women out there who are listening?
Yes. For myself, I continue to find that courage in every now. And it takes courage because it takes a dismantling of who we thought we were. It takes a dismantling of the ways in which we used to perceive ourselves and the ways in which we used to perceive reality. And our experience, the edges of creation, are also the edges of discovering who we really are. And so for me, I find courage in knowing that as I follow the highest truth, and I speak often of highest truth, it's not that there is one truth above others. It is that there is often in our fields an unlock that happens when we follow a truth that is liberating for all. Whatever it is that I do, however uncomfortable it may be at the beginning, especially when it takes higher levels of courage, when we're dismantling everything and creating anew, I know with certainty that it is for my highest good and the highest good of all. I do it because the results speak for themselves. I do it because I get to live as the embodiment of that highest truth. And because I see the results and the ripples of goodness that it creates for all.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
And so the courage becomes easier. We move through things because we know eventually highest truth is the only thing that stays. And so when we go through initiations, or when our realities or our perceptions of reality are dismantled, it's a relief. Actually, there's a part of us that has always been looking for that. And once we start to move through it, then new levels get unlocked and new realms within us are discovered. And the process actually becomes exciting.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. 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 And I love that, because that excitement I can see and I can feel in you when I'm part of your courses, when I'm looking at you now, when I'm feeling into you. That excitement is what keeps you going, even when it feels a bit uncomfortable in the beginning. But it's like there's only one way to go, because it's the highest truth. It's that highest love, the highest good of all. You just know. Do you ever experience any other sensations, or do you ever experience being a little bit off, and how you deal with that?
Yes, yes. And so what I find that is so beautiful about this work is that we get to experience these higher realms or these deeper dimensions through us as us, meaning that we don't need to go through different oscillations or different states of being where, we meditate and then we come back to real life, or we go to a transcendental space or have a certain kind of visionary experience, then come back to real life. There's a merging that happens where we become that very intersection of from non-existence into existence. We become that portal from non-existence into existence. And what gets to be exciting is that even if I go through initiation or I go through a process that is uncomfortable, and I am very much human, right? Going full alien to me is actually becoming more human. Then the way that I experience it is different, and the way that I navigate it is different. I don't make it bad. I don't try to fix it. There's nothing to be fixed. I know that all is well, and I look at the field of infinite potentiality, and I'll allow for myself to have that full experience, to really welcome it, integrate it, and choose with all of the options available, not just some of them.
Wow. Wow. That was big. That is beautiful. And of course, we know this, and I've heard it before, and I can feel it also. But really, to embody that is a quality, what I can feel when you speak, when you transmit, when you send out. So, speaking about you becoming full human, who's the person behind Andrea? What? Because I hear you often speak about I'm not really a public person. I mean, me going on social media was something. Well, I'm very happy and honored that you did, because the world needs you. And then you say, I'm a private person. I like to be with my husband. You have an amazing, beautiful husband. You got married at the beginning of this year, no?
I did.
Yeah, it was. Say again.
Less than 3 months ago.
Oh, so short. Oh, wow. Newlyweds.
Yes.
That's so beautiful. So, and you like to eat sushi, and you like food in general, and how does your life look? What does Andrea do? How does your day look? What do you do in life when you're not sharing with the world and showing yourself?
Yes. Beautiful question. I do often, when I come to speak, I am speaking about my work. And so also this is a beautiful opportunity to speak about just what life gets to be beyond work.
Yeah.
And so for me, it would be an easier choice in many ways to just lead a very private life, because I find deep peace and satisfaction and fulfillment in just a quiet home life. I do love eating, and I do love eating out, and I do love traveling, but I experience the world, I experience reality as miracle. And from the moment we rise to the moment we fall asleep, my love and I, we go through these very simple human experiences, and we experience fully the depth of what they bring. And it can be very mundane, even in wealth embodiment. I was speaking about drinking water, right?
Yeah.
And drinking water can be an experience through which we embody that miracle frequency. It's such a simple act. We've done it all our lives, but being fully present to it and allowing for the higher realms to be present in the water and present in us as we drink the water, to consider questions, to consider different options in the field of potentiality, and then just be contemplating those as I drink water, right? There is a way to experience reality that is so divine, and it's so miraculous. And that's what we do behind the scenes most of the time.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, because I remember what you shared, connecting with the frequency of the water and blessing the water. So it's nice that you share it here as well, because everyone who's listening can already practice with it.
Yes.
Sometimes life moves so quickly. And that's the reason also why I asked, because in my life, there is no separation between work and not work, or being human, or enjoying life. It's all the same and nothing. And I remember when you were sharing it, this is why this question popped up. You were sharing about a cheese board, no? Something.
Yes.
Cheese board. Yeah. Making a cheese board. And I was I'm very, when someone shares something like that, I'm very visual. So I see you literally with a cheese board, like a wooden plate with your cheese on there. And it was in the same course when you're sharing all that other beauty. And this is when I realized, it's so nice to hear the full spectrum of that, to really make that connection.
Yes. 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 And for those who may know, my love is the one that really loves cooking. If anything, I'm into preparing the cheese boards. And so that's when I allow my creativity in the kitchen these days to be. And, in different drinks, I know I mentioned water. This water has chlorophyll. That's why it's green. But in the experience of creating something simple for us to eat, there is a savoring, there is an enjoyment, there is an embodiment of our understanding that there is only now. And so we as we move through time, we are aware that we are also beyond time. And we don't experience time as a means to an end. We experience time as creation itself, as existence itself. There is only now, and everything gets to be savored, everything gets to be celebrated, everything gets to be an expression and an extension of our divinity, our full alienship, and our full humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. You made a move. You're from Brazil.
Yes.
You know, my parents were born in Suriname, which is like same level where Brazil is. So when you said it, it's so beautiful. And then you came to the US. And now you're bringing this work. I've heard you saying, like, maybe we go on a boat, maybe we go somewhere else. Can you share a little bit with us where you are right now? Because I have the feeling that everything goes, I mean, time and beyond time and space, you're moving faster than the light. And I just have the feeling that just to try to catch up with you, where are you going in the coming periods? Where is there something special? Is there, I'm just very curious.
Yes, that's a beautiful question. And, my dad has been asking me the same, because my family experiences us just moving, and each time we move faster through space and time. And so in the last year, we lived in Arizona, then we were in California, now we're in Texas, and we are just enjoying, we're loving Texas. And we're also open. We're just enjoying and savoring as we go. If we feel called to go to a place, we just go. And it was funny that while we were, I believe it was inside of Wealth Embodiment, that the feeling came to me, maybe we'll just go on a yacht adventure for the summer. That's where we move next. And that's also the first time my husband heard it.
Yeah, and then someone reacted like, well, when you share something like that, it's 100% going to happen, because this is and I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. If I have an opportunity, I want to hear more about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. Do you have plans to ever go back to Brazil?
Probably not to live, but to visit, certainly. And my dad, actually, since I've mentioned him on the interview, he might come and live with us, but he's hoping that he can make it while we're still in Texas. Otherwise, he'll have to catch on with the adventure with us.
I get goosebumps. Wow. Your father is a very special person.
Yes, he is.
Wow, that's so special. I love that when people bring their parents to the house. It's my roots are in India. It's a very Indian tradition to bring your parents into the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking about highest love.
Highest love.
Mm, mm, mm.
Mm. I have experienced this year a new layer of the divine masculine opening within me. And it's interesting you bring up my dad, because since coming together with my husband, Sal, my love, he had a dad and a stepdad. And I felt like on our wedding day, I got to experience the fullness of three dads. And I thought to myself, what an abundance of love and divine masculine support and partnership and creation. And his dad, I was only in his dad's life for a year. He was only in my life for a year. But it changed everything. And I feel him continuing to co-create with us. And it's been really incredible, the level of surrender that has deepened since then for me personally.
Yeah, and I can feel at the same time this level of surrendering has to do with you moving so fast. They were a part of that, the
Yes.
divine masculine showing up in such an abundant form. I mean, tree,
Yes.
and not like just tree,
Yes.
tree man, like real man. Wow.
Yes. It's incredible. The more I surrender, the more the structure and the fierce masculine love systems appear and rearrange all around me, including with these three incredible fathers, three incredible men.
Yeah, you bring out something very important, and thank you for sharing that. The more I trust and surrender, the more things will show up for me. It's like less working, less figuring out, no?
Absolutely.
More in the becoming.
That's it. That's what I have experienced. The more I actively surrender, the more I become that which I am and have always been. And the field self rearranges, things will come into place just as they are meant to be.
The field self arranges. And it's so interesting how we're used to controlling and figuring out and wanting to create, and then the opposite of that, if you can speak about an opposite. And women are listening and they're like, yeah, it sounds all so beautiful, but I don't know how to do. I don't know how to start. Would you just take them a little by the hand, and what would you share with them in this moment?
I would say start with that which has always been true. Start with that which comes naturally to you, that which you might even take for granted about you, that which you love, that which brings you bliss and that radiance and effervescence of being. And notice how there is a whole configuration of reality. There is a whole geometry, as I often speak, that will and does support you. But it takes that initial trust in the self that what has been true will continue to be so. And it gets bigger, it gets better because you trust yourself and go.
Mm. Mm.
When I moved to the US, I was 19. I had $100 exactly, and that was it. No financial backing, no backup plan. And I felt in awe of the miracles that appeared, that presented themselves, the right people, the right places. I was able to navigate through life as if opportunities just presented themselves. But they did, and I did have to take them, and I did work, and I did all the things. But they did because I came with that certainty. I came with that conviction and that knowing and that trust that this was my path, this was my destiny. And while I didn't know exactly how it would all get into place, and often that is the biggest question, but how will I do it? We don't have to figure out the how. In fact, the how comes about in hindsight when we're looking at how we did it, not how we will do it. And so we start with that trust, we start with that conviction, and we leap one step at a time. And next thing we know, we're living a life beyond our wildest imagination.
Yes, that's it. That's amazing. That's it. You're following your calling, little steps at a time, one by one. You don't have to figure it out. Wholehearted. And this is exactly the essence of, thank you so much. This is exactly the essence of the female way. Finding your own authentic path. And like Andrea is sharing, 19 years old with only $100 in her pocket, but it was an inner knowing. And then miracles show up one by one. And there's more magic than you've ever experienced in your life. So with these beautiful words, I mean, you just wrap the essence of the work I do. This is how we roll at the end of our beautiful conversation. And I feel it's a beginning because you are one of the most beautiful and special persons I've ever met. I'm totally, I don't even know there's a word for that. Let's use in all. I'm so touched because I just feel very deep inside of me that you bring something the world needs. So I'm honored that I can benefit a little bit, but also I can add to it by bringing your message into our platforms and our podcasts and spread it into the world. So thank you, my love.
Oh, what an honor to be here. Thank you truly for all that you are, for the uniqueness that you're bringing to the world and the uniqueness that you're calling forward. This is the frequency of miracles. This is the embodiment of our divinity in all the ways. And it's truly an honor to be here with you today.
No, now you make me cry. Your words they just end right in my heart. Thank you so much. Thank you for making time. Thank you for showing up. And thank you for that you listen to your heart calling. I mean, let's not underestimate how easy it would have been to just stay where you are in your work, also serving people, but following your heart, it takes courage, like you said, and thank you for doing it. It's been a great honor. Until we meet again.
Until we meet again.
Sending you a lot of love.